I would consider this position relatively high, maybe like a B plus class. But to be fair, I don't hate the shout of a class A. I actually just don't, to be fair, because if you think about it, what is not with this trade? You've got a stacked equal lows. You've got a clear POI that we're trading out of. We've got on our execution model. Granted, the more I look at it, the more it looks a lot better on G. So whoever has taken on G, fair play. But I don't see much reason why it wouldn't be a class A today, to be honest with you. Guess we've got a fair value gap here that you could. The only thing that might be pushing you away from it is the fact that we've got an expansive, technically high volume Asian session. But honestly, I would consider this low volume in this market. Is it like trending? Kind of, not massively. Equal lows at the bottom as well. EU, yeah, like same kind of like a little bit trending, but I'm not. That's a bit higher volume, I guess. Maybe you won't take out the lows, but an EU does look a bit less promising. It matches our DXY bias. It matches where we're trying to go. It matches the direction that we're trying to make for the start of the week as well. So I would consider it class A, to be honest. Maybe you could have been put off by a lack of impulsiveness. Let's have a look. No, there was fair value gaps. Was fair value gap on you as well. Like I said, you could have looked a little bit at the S&T. But other than that, it's just whether we get the full move. Like I said, if you guys are on 2R, which majority of you guys are for MEC, you should be out of the position now. When do I avoid London session reversal? Say it was a larger pip Asian session, but wasn't trending when you still be opening a trade. Generally, yeah. If it's still like a 2R and there's a lot of reasons other than just the standard MEC model to take the trade. So for example, like here, I mean, I'm doing some G's, probably isn't one to on it. So like this was fine the other day. Technically, really, like I don't consider any of these like that big based off like current market conditions. You know, I was going through GU the other day and showing like how many times we reversed. Like even like here, you probably still could have maybe just about got a win. But S&T at the lows, which kind of gave you an option to win. But that's obviously like again, that's very discretionary. This is an example of one just not working. But like these kind of Asian sessions, these are the ones that I would generally stay away from for London. Because it's like, 80 something pips. It's clearly trending. Or maybe not like structured trending, but it is still trending. You're just less likely to get an expansion in London because the expansion's already happened for the day. It looks like we had some sort of news probably in New York. But then you go back and you see, okay, even this is technically a big Asian session, but it's a lot less like convincing or like that's the expansion for the day compared to previous price action. And that is like a lot different, like I said, to that, if you get what I'm saying. Whereas again, this massive and clearly some sort of expansion when it's 100 pips or so. So yeah, can you see what I mean in terms of like, I mean, this was a bank holiday, but that's what I mean by Asian session size might have put you off. This trade with EU, what put you off? Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. If you didn't trade because it was slightly out of time, you could have got in at like 7 here. GU was with time, I believe. GU looks like it's the better position for show. Very fun stuff. Lovely day. Some granola, honey, raspberry, and Greek yogurt. Like, got hay fever. Right, we are off. We're doing some male duties. Don't know if that's like okay to say these days, but it's bit of a man's job, no? Well, I don't know, not the most manly man you've ever seen in your life, but it's bin time. And then we're collecting little ins. Oh, skill moves. Jesus. Right. Oh no. Oh no, if we're going to the bins. Oh, it's quite cold actually. Looks sunny but cold. Oh. There we land. And now we're off in my pretty grotty car that's got the worst rims in the world. We're off to the parents. The parents, take them to the airport and to take back what's mine. My dog. Which I don't get to see as much. So I don't live with her anymore. But she's the best. She's the best to ever do it. What song should we play today? What song are we thinking? So the CV reverse. This is the reverse. So what I'm going to do, oh god. Ugh, not doing this very well, am I? Just going to bring it in here. Just avoid that. Just going to open up the angle. I'm going to work it around the corner. Oh look, that is what I would consider. I'm going to scrape my splitter. Oh no. Had a trade this morning. Lovely little trade on bank holiday as well. I got asked why I traded this bank holiday and not the last one. I'll put a screenshot of both days on here for you guys, so you know exactly why I didn't trade the last one and why I traded this one. There's basically one key factor, which is volume. So is price moving with like potential, or is it literally just not moving the whole day? For example, today we've still had like a 40 pip Asian rain. The last bank holiday, there was literally no price action, really wicky, super bad volume in the market, so it wasn't really worth me even risking any capital. But today was actually a really good position. It's like a class A trade, which is pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, what do you guys think of the trim, by the way? Got a fresh trim. Let's let these girls go. Right, and yeah, my friends are back today from America whilst my parents are leaving. But so yeah, more distractions, but they're good buddies. So fun things that I do with them, basically just play golf. That's the main thing. And then if I've got like a football match that I want to watch, such as Chelsea Liverpool yesterday, big up Mr. Palmer. He's back to his best. Very pleased with his performance out there. But yeah, I just made basically yesterday, got home, made a really long video for you guys, like, well, not really long, but like quite intense, around my funded approach, just to cut it kind of short what I went through. Obviously, the way that I traded funded accounts or funded challenges, sorry, is understanding like really what they are. I think my main edge is really my psychology when it comes to funded accounts and funded challenges. So I think that's what majority of traders who are profitable, might just be profitable standard traders, maybe on a personal account or a demo, but really struggle to trade on funded challenges, because the pressure of funded challenge, if you care about the challenge, is really bad, because in your opinion, well, in your head, you're thinking, I've got to hit this target, this whole whatever money you paid for the challenge, it's like, I'm going to lose all that money. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you look at it from a wider perspective and you say, right, if I fail 9 challenges in a row, or let's say 8, 7, 6 challenges in a row, but then pass one, and that one gives me a few 2% payouts, a few 1% payouts, then you've just passed your entire, or not passed, you've just made back all the money you would have lost from the failed challenges in the first place. Let alone if you take a handful of challenges and you pass obviously more than one, which you should do if you're a good enough trader and you've got this approach in mind. And it's basically adapting a strategy so that it's funded profitable as well, so that you can pass challenges quickly. I alternate a little bit. When I get to a funded account, I trade slightly differently in terms of the actual challenge, the actual strategy that I trade. So it's definitely something to think about. I'm by a school, so I'm actually going to turn the camera off. You what? Yeah, guys, I'll see you at my mum's house. I won. Indy! Hello! Say hello to the camera. I'm stealing you. I'm stealing you for a little while. She's excited to be stolen. Are you getting stolen? Oh, Papa, you. Hello? 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 Indy Flo. Oh, Inns, what happened there? I'm basically going to talk through today's trade. There was a really nice position on GU and EU, but I think we would have only got on a 2R. I didn't cash out a 2R. Some of our traders did, so congrats to you guys. So I actually took a stop loss, which is obviously important to show you guys as well. I'll do a full trade breakdown later on today. I think it was actually when I was picking up Indy that I hit stop loss, a bit annoying, but it's what it is. And Emily's just taken out for a walk. I've got stats calls today. I've got mentoring, which is always fun. This is today. I've already done one. These are all my mentoring calls. So we've got 1 at 1, 1 at 3, 1 at 3:30, 1 at 4. Someone puts in a call, but I probably won't be able to take that. 1 at 5:30, 1 at 8, 1 at 9. So fun times, but that's what one-to-one mentoring is. I think that's the main difference between most guys that just want like an automated process. So for me, most of my day is built up with trading in the morning, live trading with my students. Obviously, a lot of them catching winners today, because if you just traded 2 hours, which majority of them do, just to get that base profitability, they would have won. I didn't, like I said, not trying to say that I did. It was a good trade, but execution was great, but just didn't run to where I wanted it to. And for me, obviously, I'm mainly trading on challenges. I did actually trade on a funded account as well that was already up. So that meant that I took a loss on a funded account, which never fun. But again, it's already up and I need to do the minimum trading days. That's the reason why I'm trading it still. And with Aqua, sorry, you need to make 0.5% per day for 3 days. It doesn't have to be consecutive for it to count as a trading day. So I need 3 of those, and I've only got 1 of them so far, even though we were at about 5k profit, something like that. So I need to take a few more trades basically before the 14 days is over to get my payout, if you get what I'm saying. Have had some big problems with Audacity. They're making me like continuously trade this account, which is pointless when I've hit the profit target with the right consistency and everything else being met as well. So really strange prop firms from what I can see so far. I've messaged them to say like what is going on. I've hit profit target and I've hit the consistency rule that you guys asked me to hit. But yeah, hopefully that gets sorted, but a bit of a nightmare on that end. And yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at right now. So lots of mentoring calls to be taken. New dawn, new day, a new night. I'm late as fuck. I need to go very late because of a certain female dog. I need to feed her. Fairy child.
You look like you're excited.
Let me have this. Sorry, I'm not filming this very well, am I? She's getting aroused. Yeah, that will do it. I excite you. Insight into my bin, if you're interested in that. Then I'm just going to chuck a little couple biscuits in there. Just a couple. I think, oh, a bit too many there. Bit too many. Because for some reason, parents go, oh, we've some biscuits in there. Make sure she has them every meal. Well, how many am I meant to give it? Like 1 a meal? Because you've given me none. Oh, no, we've got to get your snood on, actually. It's quite fun. Look at this. Look how excited she is to put it on. Look at her. Look at her face. Very excited. There you go, Ings. Look at your face. It's like a rabid dog. So yeah, we've got a bit of an issue with her at the moment, basically. So she fell over the other day at my parents' house. Obviously, looking after her at the moment. And she basically fell off my parents' bed. Like the day before we started looking after her. And now she's really scared of any furniture. She's been like shaking. I've had to sleep like not last night. It was just a nightmare. So yeah, I need to take this off for her actually. She's being a little bit hard to deal with, but sort that out. Indeed, take it off. Is that your face? Funny thing. Right, I'll leave her in Emily's capable hands and go play padel, which again I'm really late for. So yeah, fun times. We've arrived.
Oh,
Ready for it? Great bum. Anybody right?
Oh, mate.
Is this my teammate?
Is your teammate? Yeah, we got each other.
Yeah, I've never played before.
We're still not 100%. You can't.
I actually know the rules. Just close each other.
You can't hit the back wall. Just remember that.
I'll remember it. Right, let's have it. Oh yeah. You see it's a play. Oh, we got that on camera. Oh, it's just in case. 15-15, great stuff. Oh, get that on the camera. Can't be having that. Oh, well dealt. Oh, that's fluid. That's fluid stuff, that. What's that? 30-15. Easy wins when the camera's out. Oh, wow. Oh, he's dealt with it. Oh, they don't know what to do. Oh, net! No, cage!
But we're getting
Fucking doing it. We're doing it big time. I've not touched a thing. Oh, you're breaking their rackets. Right, that's enough now. So that is padel finished. We're back home now. Hair's looking pretty dreadful. Elliot took the live this morning with the group talking through there's a potential mech position, but I'm staying off the charts today because of FOMC. Generally when I'll do that, either I'll go live very briefly, talk through if there's a mech trade, and Elliot will go through it in a bit more detail. So Elliot did that today, which is good, giving everyone value, which is always nice, but equally it's a no trade day for me just because of FOMC later. Time to enjoy the day a little bit. Maybe I'll talk through some previous trades for you guys, break down some of the positions that obviously passed me, funded accounts and such. Don't know if I've got a payout today. I'll have to double check. but we're in pretty good stead on most of these funded accounts at the moment for some big and decent payouts. We're going to do a whole week review today and just see through where you could have picked up things, where you would have lost some, and where you would have gained some, and what was the right things to be doing. First things first, amount of positions. Again, I want to ask you guys, I know I did yesterday, but I want to ask one more time, how many positions did we take? I don't care if it won or lost. How many positions did we take this week? 2, both -%, 1 win. Cool. Right, so in terms of what majority of you would have traded, I'm guessing majority of you would have traded MEC. Now, why did MEC not that well, at least? It's not necessarily like why before it happens, but with hindsight, was there a single day where both sides of Asian? In fact, has there been a single day where both sides of Asian session swept in the last 2 weeks? No, almost, but no. Last one was Friday on the 16th of May. It's quite an easy tell where you've had a good or bad month or a good or bad couple of weeks, if not a single Asian session for 14 days straight, 2 weeks straight of price action. Not a single Asian session has swept both Asian high and low or low and high. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not even here, 7. Here, yes, technically. So the last one was 21st of May for you. But what I'm trying to get at, and I'm sure you can understand me, is that Asian session, London session reversal, where we're taking out both sides, just hasn't been playing out as frequently this last couple of weeks. So the last couple of weeks, you're judged on how well you're able to refrain yourself, basically, and why maybe price hasn't been giving you opportunity. Now, one thing that I'd say is obviously the size of Asian sessions, what's happening and when the market's moving. Typically, I wouldn't say this is particularly nice price action. Look at like that, for example. Doesn't look amazing. And then from here, it's not awful. We've got relatively low wicks down, so that's probably why we're not getting like a reversal then come up afterwards. Positions you could have taken. Let's review this week individually. Obviously, you guys know that roughly my analysis would have been preferred to short this week, just about until really Thursday, where again it was really a case of is this respecting this as a strong high, but the actual positions that you would have taken would have been on EU only. Let's do EU first. So from this week, Monday, I'm just going to do 5 because I know majority of guys are 5. And I know this isn't selling the reversal, by the way, because it's not done a single reversal of both sides. Cool. So Monday, obviously no trade. I would have said that pretty early doors, but interesting to see that Tuesday retraced into a Monday's POI. So if you're looking 15, nice fair value gap, hourly, the OB, or actually no, the fair value gap as well. Equally, it didn't actually have a change of character. So because this didn't create a new high, this actually wasn't a change of character on anything other than the 15. So this is the highest time frame that you got the reaction off. That just shows that sometimes lower time frame will play out more so than what you think is going to happen higher time frame wise. Anyways, so yeah, you wouldn't have been able to take a trade Monday. You wouldn't have been able to take a trade Tuesday. Well, you would have done, but it would have been against overall direction. Now, why I say that is, again, if at this point I had this incentive that price is going to continue downwards, but I didn't really know how to explain it so much, and I still don't to a degree, like perfectly. For me, I was looking at this one big range. They're at here, what Monday did. How we then closed on Monday. Where have we gone? How we then closed on Monday, which was obviously like this. So for me, that was one of my main driving factors as to why I was so bearish, just mainly because of how it closed. So obviously when I looked at the next day and we started instantly picking up volume to Monday's high, or not necessarily Monday's high all the way up here, but retracing into Monday, we then got this rejection, obviously in Asian session, which is pretty irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but doesn't give loads of confirmation until we start closing past these lows and have an actual structural shift. And then you look on the lower time frames, you see we're actually coming out of a POI, Monday's POI created. So when that started to happen, we started to get distribution from this phase. That was why I was so keen on shorting from this area rather than longing up towards these highs. Because of how Monday closed, I just didn't believe that price was going to go past those highs. So that's where, if you did trade reversal, maybe that's what you could have taken into consideration.
a few more things you could have taken into consideration. So when I talk about continuations, and I've been teaching, or at least explaining to a few people what normally I like to see for continuations, is Asian session either taking a bunch of liquidity and coming into a POI, or reacting just to a POI and then distributing off of it. So in this case, we've got this mid-time frame POI. And like I said, based off the daily close, that was one of the main factors as to why I was still bearish the next day. But it's come into this POI and it's shifted shifted market structure here. And when you start to read market structure from here, you see, okay, new high, new low, new high, change of character, retest. And we just start distributing really from this area. So when we start distributing from this area, like I say, if you look specifically to the candle, you could look at this as a whole area. You could look at this probably as like an hourly candle if you wanted to, yeah. So here you could identify this entire hourly candle there. And as you can see, price created this low. It looked dodgy by the way that we closed, but in my opinion, like I said, how the daily closed, even it's just candlestick structure, which isn't the most strongest thing to look off generally. But I was just confident. That was just my bias. So when price then retraced here, for me, I was happy to drop down to the 1 minute and trade off the change state delivery, targeting these lows. And in my opinion, these lows were weak. Reason being, I know we did have SMC at these lows, but it's not exactly in a clean POI for me at least. But these lows are putting at 6:30. Sometimes that's fine with me, obviously. If you look at the next day, I was fine with taking a long. But for me, where we're reacting to is key. How the previous day closed and what your daily bias was for that day. That's why, for me, I was very comfortable shorting towards that low. But yeah, that's where you could have lost a percentage or lost 2% if you're a phase one in this challenge. So your MEC would have been from here upwards. But yeah, for me, wasn't can a POI be based purely from distribution? This is no. Generally, for a POI, you need a well, you could technically look at, like I said, you could technically look up here if you wanted to be really acute with the 15-minute. But obviously that didn't get tapped. Equally, you can. I get what you're saying, but this normally what I would consider is if it's caused a breaker structure or a change of character. Then what I look for is if it's got a fair value gap. Then I look for if it's unmitigated. So in this case, this has caused a breaker structure to a degree. Maybe not the cleanest in the world. New high, new low, new high, new low, new high. You could argue this one did, but obviously the distribution came from here. So that's, to me, is what I'd outline. And then obviously for confirmation, the 1 minute change of character is what was that. Okay, I'm clean from there. But it's a good question, actually, because once you've gotten that once you've gotten that tab, for me, the reaction was enough to confirm that was a relevant order block. But generally, like if you're looking from here, you might look at something like that. This one didn't get tapped. This reacted off the fair value gap. In this case, it reacted here. That's why you often need to wait for confirmations. But yeah, normally I'll look for if an area or a swing has created a change of character or break structure, it's unmitigated, and has a fair value gap. That's usually what I look for an OB. Equally, you can trade change of state delivery. In this case, you would have not had an entry. Actually, that's a lie. Again, you would have had an entry here. I believe, if you're looking at upswing, again, but you're trading more the break structure, change state delivery, but you could have looked at that. Anyways, so that's the position for Tuesday, really, and obviously it's easy to say with hindsight, but it's not with hindsight because, like I said, I was trading it live, and that was it was hard to explain when in the live as to why I prefer the continuation, but that's why to a degree. I just really didn't think the reversal was going to happen that day. What I've been teaching or going through some people about testing some sort of continuation model, mainly to see when MEC's not going to work and getting an understanding of why, and maybe not even necessarily trading continuation, but when you think continuation is more likely or it matches more of your bias or it makes more sense to you, then not trading reversals if that's the case. Not necessarily taking the continuations, like I said. So it might be something to think about. Then you move on to the next day. Now, this day, I believe majority of people got the win. This was obviously, again, live. And there was a pretty, I don't know if it's slow, actually. But basically, we just had a clean change of character. And again, weak times have a low, hence why I probably got smashed through later in the day. But there was less, I mean, for me, there was less of POI. I was looking more on the hourly this day. And again, this is where discretion just does come into play. I can't like pretend that it doesn't. Where are we? This was Friday, it was Wednesday. So for me, I was looking more so at this area, probably from here. I believe I put that in or I was talking about that in the live. If not even potentially up here. But I think this was actually no. Where was the distribution in? Oh, okay, no. So this was reacting to up here. This came down. This then reacted to pretty much nothing, or nothing that clear. This then distributed. We had a pullback, distributed again, pullback, but obviously matched. This matched New York session. I think a few people tried to trade continuation here, or a little bit early here, and maybe a bit unfortunate to be fair. Coming out of here, it just seems to induce before going up and then taking you out to then go to TP. So that's pretty unfortunate. If you did take that trade and lost, I think that's just relatively unfortunate, to be honest with you. The trade, obviously, reversal trade would have been this change of character, retracement to EQ. Again, all of you were probably in the live. Execution at 7. Now, I ended up getting out here by complete. I think it's because I was using an account where when it like does it in pips. I think I meant 0 pips in like 0 pips from my entry, but actually it might have accidentally did it from like 0 pips from where we are right now. So maybe I think that's what I'd end up doing. So yeah, this was the position on Wednesday. Now, the main thing is, yeah, the continuation down is really nice. Other than the fact that you kind of get stopped out just beforehand, and there's this kind of awkward bit of manipulation in 9, which is still like in a kill zone. So that like inducement before the move, but then you don't really want to be executing at 11:30. But I personally would prefer not to execute at 11:30. And this isn't a nice change of character in my opinion either. So it's like makes sense. I wouldn't say clean and easy to execute on. I'd say no. Just solely because, like I said, getting into that position and not getting stopped out in the process looks quite hard to me. Because even here, you could have got stopped out. If you're trading with a prop firm, the likelihood is if you got a stop to the high, the spread will take you out anyways. So that's why maybe it's harder. This would be a 1 minute, quite clean on the 1 minute by the looks of it. And then you've got to think about when your kill zone is as well. So you got to think when you're actually taking the trade. Maybe if you look a little bit hard time frame wise, you might have looked. I looked at this as that clean to be honest from here, especially with the reaction at this low. I would have been nervous to enter here, to be honest with you, just because we reacted to like almost like it's a what's it called, like a reverse head and shoulders, or just a bullish entry model. But for me, I was more happy with the 2R. I was just quite happy with this position. I'd say 2R. I traded from a change the state of delivery after the broker structure. Draw just here. But equally, would you not trade it here as well? On the one from this POI that was the more clean or obvious POI for me, you could have traded change of character, technically there, or the change of state delivery if you wanted to use it as an order block. That would have been a joke of a trade. If anyone caught that, I would, that's just fair play. Imagine. I mean, you probably would have been stopped out, but I doubt your stop loss is 2 pips. That would have been obviously a very clean trade. Just imagine that. 10R. But end quarter 10R. That is mental. Fair play then. But yeah. Oh, okay. But still, nice position. Yeah, in terms of, like I said, this day was an awkward day. I think the only real like easy win was this. Like easy. This you got induced on earlier, and it was in a POI. It wasn't as if there wasn't criteria met. Like it made sense in my opinion to react where we were reacting from. Obviously, bias wasn't that clear this week either. Again, in my opinion, I think it's like the only really impulsive day was Thursday, which was bullish. Then the rest, every other day has been bearish slightly, and it's done it without like I said, much conviction. So it's been a little bit difficult. I mean, continuations or the continuation trade obviously on each of these days looks like it's obviously more probable, just because you're trading like a trend, so you're going to get the continuation is going to be the better trade. Like I said, these little 2 hours can still play out. So if you're trading pure MEC on EU, you should really have only taken, it depends if you're adding any sort of discretion. Like here, to me, this just looks obvious to stay out, hence the very slow live or quick live this morning. And I was actually looking more for a continuation than anything else. And you wouldn't have traded EU anyway because there was news actually. So no EU here. No, again, hoping no one traded EU here. Don't see, I think some of you had Asian session too low or something, but yeah, nothing on EU there. EU here. You could have taken EU here and lost, and then nothing on Monday. So you should, if you're trading EU MEC 5 minute, you should be up 1% for the week. I'm certain a lot of you aren't. And you've got to think like, what is in your plan? What are you trading? Obviously, if you're going to be trading discretionary, you need to be deeping your positions or why you're taking certain positions a little bit. And that's why, obviously, again, like why this change state delivery, why this point? Because the more consistent you can make that and the more like precise you can make your executions, etc., consistent at least, then it's going to give you more consistent results. If you're trading off of like completely sporadic things and ideas every time, then maybe it's not going to be as consistent as you want it to. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the week. Right now, I'm just preferring to look at EU first, unless there's news. So this is why I looked at GU more so today. I don't know where my Asian session is. Maybe I just don't have it on. Okay, I don't think I've got it on this time frame. But yeah, the main thing to note is that there's not been at all many sweeps of both sides of Asian session liquidity. So if you're trading pure MEC and you finish this week profitable, big pat on the back, because it's not easy to sit on the standby and wait for positions to come to you, because obviously that's kind of what you would have had to do. And like I said before, if you traded pure MEC this week on the 5 minute, you should be up 1%. And I know, like I said, majority probably aren't. So ask yourself, if you are pure MEC, what you've done differently than you normally do. I know a lot of you trade 1 minute. This was very beneficial live. Oh, I'm glad. Sorry, I've not really answered anyone's questions, by the way. I just thought it'd be good to go through like every single week and go through a bit more of my, because a lot of people were asking, like, this week obviously was a bit of a weird week. I didn't trade 2 of the days. I took a continuation one day and then a reversal a different day. So it's a weird week. But obviously, I'd want to explain why I traded it like that to a degree. So hopefully, yeah, it makes sense to you guys. A lot of you at the moment feel like, I think not a lot of you are like full time, obviously, but a lot of you are like wanting to do more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do more at all. Like as a bloke or girl, you're going to naturally want to get better at things, and that's obviously the case. But how do you go about doing that? That doesn't mean you always need to learn a new model. That doesn't mean you always need to learn a new thing. Or even for me, a lot of the time, like when you're trading, a lot of it is just sticking to what you've set out to do. If you constantly find yourself diverting from this, I was really impressed by. I won't out them because I don't know if they want me to. But I've just got off call with someone, done really well. I think they're up 2% on the week. They're in a phase one. They took both MEC trades, so exactly what I'm saying at the moment. They took the EU long that I took the continuation on. So obviously they lost 2% on that, and they gained 4% on this trade. So, and they just stopped. That's it. That's all they did. And sometimes it's really, I know if you guys are MEC traders or you trade London reversals, it's hard to like know that you've not profited on a week that should be profitable, because this could easily be like a -3%, -2% if you're not trading the right things, or if you're sticking too hard on the 1 minute. Then the 1 minute's been a bit not very pretty for the last while. I think you could have got a position on the 1 minute today, actually, to be fair. Maybe not here, but I'm staying a bit further away from the 1 minute, only where it looks a little bit like improbable on the 5. So if you look at the continuation again, just go for it one more time. That trade is very hard to catch on the 5. But obviously, it would make sense for 8 to distribute into those lows. So another thing that's just like, at the time made more sense to trade on the 1. But again, very discretionary, so hard to teach a bit more so. But yeah, guys, I won't waffle anymore. Have a good rest of your weekend. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe, like the video. If you guys obviously want to find out a bit more about what we do to create these profitable traders, we've done 130 six-figure funded traders now. If you want to be the 131st, the 150th, the a million, drop me a message, book a call with the link below with me. You'll be on the phone directly to me. You can't do that with anyone else. Hopefully see you guys on the call, and if not, subscribe.